Hi everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. I am recording this video on Thanksgiving, and I just feel called to come on and share a little bit about my story and who I am and how it is living with a disability and also being a mom. So before I get into my daily life, my routine, and some of the things that I do for my health, I first want to tell you a little bit about my condition. So I have a condition. It's called Jarcho-Levin Syndrome, which is a super rare condition that is really prominent in people of Puerto Rican genetic background, but it's not only in Puerto Ricans, it's also in other ethnicities as well, but it's really prominent in the Puerto Rican bloodline. It is a genetic condition as well. So usually when both parents are carrying this gene, the child is born with this condition. And it's also a form of dwarfism. It's a rare form of dwarfism because what is making us more on the dwarfism side is our torso, because our limbs, our arms and legs are natural, average size. Usually nothing wrong with our arms, hands, legs, or feet, which you would usually see in other dwarfisms where they might have like smaller arms and legs, but ours is just normal size. And what makes us like shorter is our torsos. So that's what really shortens our body, because our spine is infused. So all my vertebrae are infused as one, versus if you're an average person, you would have your vertebrae that are more separate, like giving you more like flexibility. Your spine will be more separate and give you more flexibility and rotation, and for us that's limited because the spine is one unit. So that's what is pretty much my condition is. It's a form of dwarfism, and it also affects our breathing. So we have limited lung capacity because our torsos are so short and compressed. So our lungs cannot expand as much as the average person's would. A lot of people with this condition also might use oxygen tanks or, you know, need some breathing equipment. So that's kind of like the gist, I guess, of my condition. It's super rare. So I am like one of the only people with this condition that I know who has successfully had 2 children that were born without the condition. So my kids are super blessed that they were born beautiful and healthy, which I'm so thankful for every single day. And that in itself was also a big thing for me when I found out that I was pregnant. It was a big scary thing. A lot of people didn't know how successful the pregnancy would be. Even the doctors would tell me and try to scare me actually about if I go through with my pregnancy, the complications that I would face, and also potentially not making it through the pregnancy, or my child, you know, not being able to make it through. So it was a huge risk that I took with my life and also with my children's life, with making it my everything to make sure that me and my kids were going to survive the pregnancy. So that was a huge aspect of my life that I had to go through and deal with, and it was super transformational. It was super testing. A lot of times I didn't know what would be on the other side. Once I went into that delivery room, I didn't know what would be the outcome. I just had to keep the faith. I had to trust in my body to be able to handle going through the delivery, and also believing that my children, both of my daughters, would each survive it. And so there was a lot of faith that I needed to have during that time. And I was 22 when I had my first daughter. So thinking back now, 8 years later, thinking back to how young I was, 22, and really having to have so much faith in myself and the higher power, and just knowing and believing, just really believing that if I was gonna have kids, it was meant to be, and nothing was going to stop that, or nothing would happen if that was truly meant what God wanted, you know. So that's what I really, really believed during my whole entire pregnancy. I believe that. Until this day, I still believe it, and I stand by that thought, because that thought is what helped me get through everything that I was experiencing for those months that I was pregnant, each of the pregnancies. So 8 months for both of them, like 16 months having to believe that faith at such a young age was really, really eye-opening, especially now. So I just want anyone to know that if you're going through a certain phase in your life, like a condition, and you know, doctors are worried or you don't know what to expect, I would just say to really have faith in your own willpower, your own ability to believe in yourself, and also take the necessary steps that you need to do to make sure that you are okay, right? That everything goes good for you. So for me, it was eating the right food. It was making sure that I was getting the self-care that I needed, like getting the sleep that I needed, getting the right food, going to the right places, surrounding myself in things that uplifted me, or even learning. Learning is such a expansion to life. So the less you know, the more fear-based you can be in. And then the more you know, the more you're able to help yourself through whatever you may be going through. So I would say my advice for anyone experiencing anything tough in life: learn, educate yourself, have faith, and also take steps to keep yourself in good spirit, and have faith, and like preserve yourself. Like, you know, don't give yourself too many burdens, or don't weigh yourself down with unnecessary fear or worry, especially if you can't change it. So just move forward and stick to more positive mindset, and educate yourself as best as you can, and always keep that source of light and love, and knowing that things will always turn out the way that they're meant to, and going full force with that one. So that's my advice right there. And then I just want to also tell you a little bit about how it is being a mom now, 8 years later. And I would say that my children are really the best thing that has ever happened to me in life. And I believe that will always be true, no matter what I ever get in life. I don't care if I were to become a freaking millionaire. My kids are honestly the best thing that I've ever received. And they are what literally helped me get through any tough time. And although it's hard because of all that I have to do and deal with just on a regular basis with how my life is, you know, my health, you know, sometimes my health is really challenging for me, and I experience a lot of challenges, but being a mom is hard, but it's also equally as rewarding. So I wouldn't change it for the world. And I would say that if you go through anything that transform you or test you, right? Anything that tests you emotionally, physically, go through it, get through it, and let that transformation be the thing to help you grow in life rather than tear you down. Because anything that we experience in life, it's meant for us, and it's only to go towards growth, expansion, higher wisdom, higher knowledge, and also to relieve karmas that we've came into this life to pay. I'm a heavy believer into astrology as well. Sidereal Vedic astrology is what I believe in and I fully support. And that was also another thing that helped me through when I didn't have the answers to anything. I turned to spirituality, and I would say astrology is one of the most spiritual forms of having a blueprint of what your soul came to experience in this life. So, as I said before, I believe that my children are the best things to have ever come into my life to support me along this journey. And being a mom has made me the most mature person that I've ever known myself to be. So with all that, I want to leave it here, and I want to let you know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, I hope that my story, my light, my motivation can be a big impact for you in your life, in your family, and just the way that you lead your life. So my name is Dominica, and I will see you next time.